Welcome friends, welcome to the YouTube channel of mine where I am creating videos on HVAC good installation practices, and so far you must have seen ducting, piping, HUs and chillers. This is the next video which is going to focus on cooling towers, another important element of HVAC system. So let us deep dive into this. So welcome once again, and let's look at cooling towers. Cooling towers are installed in open spaces, and that's why the question is, what is the best location for cooling tower where there is a proper heat, proper air circulation available, because we install in an open space. It could be on the terrace or on the areas which is open, where we should look at one important part of starvation, the availability of the heat rejection, and for that heat rejection the lot of pressure is required. So it is very critical for operation of the chillers. If the pressure is supplied through the louvers or there are walls across the cooling towers, we have to have proper sufficient distance, as we have seen in my video of air-cooled chillers, so that there is a proper space for heat transfer. When it comes that we are adding pressure through louvers and all those things, our cooling tower fans which are mounted on top of it, they should be able to handle that resistance, and that's why the proper static of those fans is very, very important. And this is when it comes to starvation, pressure availability, when it comes to lower area, and additional static. When we have multiple cooling towers, we should have proper distance so that air flow can happen properly, the heat rejection can happen properly. For cooling towers, we should make sure there is uninterrupted makeup water. Otherwise, if the cooling tower goes in dry mode, we will have problems in the entire system. So the water is very, very important. When we install the cooling towers, we should look at the leakage of the cooling towers and check it before we go for commissioning. Recirculation of the air and the heat transfer which happens, there are some of the points which we should consider. Wall of any enclosure should never be higher than the discharge of the cooling tower. High walls will create an artificially warm or humid environment, which will obviously result in recirculating the moist air. Ideally, tower should be raised so that the discharge meets the height of the wall as well, wall as a minimum. So it should be at least to the top of the height. Alternatively, we use those discharge ducts, but again it will have an impact on the static of the fan because it will have resistance. Another element is noise in cooling tower. So this is one of the example which I want to bring about here. These are the cooling towers which are installed, and there's a building over here, right? And if you look at this section of this picture, building is there, the cooling towers are here. Now these cooling towers, when it comes operation, even in the night times, will create a lot of noise, and this will have direct impact on the residents who are residing in these buildings. So it is very important to look at what is the proper location of a cooling tower. Otherwise, it will have impact on the people living nearby. Another important part, you can see both the pictures, maintenance space and service walkways. A lot of elements needs maintenance. It can't be like this. It has to be with proper walkways, proper ladders, so that everything is accessible. Role of drip telemeter. Generally, it is provided along with the supplies, but we don't. It actually helps in reducing the loss of water, and this is how the telemeters are installed. So the water remains inside, so at least we can save a lot of water. So these are the water vapors, comes to droplets. How can we take it back with the drip telemeters? Again, it has a noise element and the vibration, so we have to have proper vibration isolation as well as a barrier when it comes to the sensitive areas. As far as possible, shift the location when it is not nearer to the sensitive areas. This is how the cooling tower operates. One of the important part here is the pump, which is circulating the water from the condenser to the cooling towers, should always work in flooded section. It should not go in a dry mode again. So this is how it is shown here. Flooded section, only a consideration in open loop system, as obviously when it is not, if it is a closed loop, the water is already available. So when it comes to the open loop, and generally it is, in most cases, we have to have flooded section. And how the base of the cooling tower should be higher than the discharge flange of the condenser water pump. Pump should be close to the cooling tower as far as possible, right? Tower should be raised further if additional pressure drop is expected between the tower and the pumps. So this is some of the points which we should be able to consider when we design and install the cooling towers on site. Or some of the layouts, schematic layouts. So thank you very much for your patient listening. Please follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I hope this video has added a little bit of value. Request to subscribe my channel and spread it to many. Thank you.